What is up, you beautiful buggers? Welcome back to Budget Cars and Bikes, and we are in the back room once again, which can mean only one thing. We've got another product review. So what have we got this time? As I said, welcome back to the channel, guys, and we have got our very first smart Wi-Fi dash camera to review. This has been sent out by this company right here. I'll stick their link in the description for you if you want to take a look for yourself. This is advertised to be the next generation, as it were, with smart dash cams. We've never had a dash cam in any of our vehicles, I'll be honest, and I've often thought about it because there's been situations, obviously, as I'm sure there has been with you, where you thought, God, I wish I'd had a bloody camera there to see that idiot and what they just did. So Pelsee reached out to us and said, look, would you be interested in fitting and reviewing our new smart Wi-Fi dash camera, the P1 Duo? I'm like, yep, for sure, of course we will. From what I gather, this little unit here will film everything that's going on in front of you, and it will also film everything that's going on behind you, all from this one unit here, which is going to make things much easier. If it's as I think it is, effectively what happens is it films through the back of the car and obviously through your windscreen. I could be wrong. We will find this out together, because as always with my videos, we will unbox this together. I've not opened it, as you can see. It's just arrived in the post. I've never fitted a dash cam to a car, so we are going to literally, warts and all, fit this together, see what it's all about. I'll show you some footage. We'll take it out for a drive, do all that kind of good stuff, and then I will let you know right at the end of the video what I think of it. Is it good value? Should you get one? All right, let's get it unboxed. All right, so we've taken the cellophane wrapping off so far. We haven't actually opened the box up yet. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what is happening with the box and some gumph that it gives you on the back. As you can see, it fits straight onto your windscreen there, and you've got a tiny little screen there. As I said, we haven't opened the box up yet, but from the picture there, you can operate it from your phone as well, which is something new for a dash cam. I've not seen that before. I'm not entirely convinced about my original statement that it will film to the back of the car and the front of the car. It's possible, I suppose, but as I said, as with all my reviews, we will open it up and check it out together. I don't know very much about this, but we will find out all the details together as usual. Little barcode there, QR code if you prefer, to basically get the app onto your Android or Apple phone. I'm assuming it's Apple as well, but again, we'll find that out. All right, let's slide this out, see what we get inside here. Crikey, that's a tight fit. Okay, lovely box actually. Yeah, you can imagine a beautiful necklace coming in there. Oh, all right, it's coming slowly. There we go. All right, so we get the ubiquitous little user manual there. Thank you for choosing us. Looks like we've got some screen protectors in there as well. That's handy. Although I don't imagine you'll be scratching your dash cam too often, because it should, in theory, be in place most of the time. But we do get two screen protectors by the looks of it. Let me just move this box out of the way. And a thank you card. And there is your user manual. Relatively concise, considering what you need to do. A lot of it's going to be languages, of course. The writing is extraordinarily small, but it'll basically tell you what you need to do. I'm going to have to obviously read through that because, as I said, we have never fitted a dash cam to a car, so it'll be a first time for me. But I have, and I used to fit stereos in cars. Car stereos, obviously, speakers, amplifiers, that kind of stuff. So I should know my way around these kind of things. And I've taken out the odd headlining and that kind of stuff, and panels, you know, A-pillar covers, that kind of stuff, to run wires before, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But we're going to fit this into the Nissan Qashqai that we've done a couple of videos on already, the salvage vehicle that we are now keeping. So we're going to put this camera in there, and then, as I said, we'll take it out for a drive, and I'll show you the footage, the quality, that kind of stuff, because this is supposed to be high D, of course. Right, so what's in here then? So we get these little boxes out as well. I'm just going to tip it up for speed, as it were. Move that box out of the way. So two little boxes. There's your accessories. There's your dash cam by the looks of things. All right, let's open up the accessory box first, if we can. That's going to be an easier box to open. So, cables. Let's get this open. So here it looks like a direct connection, basically, from your cigarette lighter to the back of the dash cam. I'm hoping that's not going to be the way it's going to be wired, if I'm honest, because I'd much rather a stealthier affair than just a huge great big plug sticking out of a cigarette lighter. I'm really, really hoping that's not just going to have to run all the way from the cigarette lighter all the way up through the car, because I know a lot of these do that, but I was hoping this would be slightly stealthier in the way that you can actually wire it, hardwire it, as it were, into to an ignition live. That would have been preferable for me, I have to say, but it looks like we are going to basically just run it straight. I mean, it makes things easier in some respects because I don't actually have to connect it to an ignition live, as in I don't have to find one with a circuit tester, that kind of stuff, but I would have preferred that personally. For a layman's kind of ease of fitting, this will be, as I said, a lot easier because you just literally plug it into your cigarette lighter and then run the cable up. Assuming, of course, that your cigarette lighter does work, because in the RAV4 we had two cigarette lighters in the front and one of them didn't work. So if yours doesn't work, this is going to be bloody useless to you, isn't it, really? And we've got a little screwdriver, a little pry tool as well, by the looks of things, probably to get the A-pillar trim off, I imagine. A cleaning cloth, a couple of little sticky pads here, obviously, to run the cables up through as well. Useful stuff, I'm sure, but that is, yeah, I mean, I get it, because obviously, as I said, fitting this will be a lot easier because you'll just literally plug it into the cigarette lighter and then run the cable up. So you should, in theory, only actually probably see that much of the whole thing because the rest of it will be hidden behind trim and stuff, depending on where your cigarette lighter is, of course. But we will get into that when we get out to the car to fit it. That is obviously part of the accessories. Let's see what else we get. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe this is the hardwire kit here. Maybe I've been a bit previous. Oh, I see. Okay, so I was wrong. This is the rear camera then. Okay, yeah, that's going to take a lot of running. I mean, I don't imagine you have to fit the rear camera. I'm assuming that is a kind of added extra, and if you want it, you can put it in, but you don't have to. I don't know if I'm going to, if I'm honest, but we'll see. I mean, I ought to. I mean, there's enough cable there. It's not a massively difficult job. It just means running more wires and lifting more trim, that kind of stuff. I probably will, actually. For the sake of the video, I'll probably put in, let me just move that. I'll probably put in the rear and front facing cameras. Why not? I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we are reviewing this product. Right, so that's your rear camera, as you can see there, a little screen protector and some 3M tape. You pop that into, I mean, how does that fit? It's an interesting one because it fits that way, so I assume it fits onto the rear tailgate. So you've got to bear in mind when you're doing that your tailgate's going to lift up and down, so you've got to give yourself some slack. So that is the two cables per se, the one that runs from the rear of the car to the front of the car, and obviously, as you saw before, the power supply, as it were, from the cigarette lighter to the actual camera, which we will open up now and have a little look. This is the guts of it, basically. This is all the tech, because obviously the rear camera, by the looks of things, will piggyback straight into here. And there's the camera. Pelsee. That's pretty much all it says. There's your power connection there. So I'm assuming this should pivot. And there we go. Yeah, that pivots nicely. It's only stuck on with 3M tape, but 3M tape's pretty good, it has to be said. We've got a little tab here. You pull that off just like so, which we won't do just yet, and there will be your little screen. Obviously that's just a little screen protector. There's your Pelsee logo there as well. Let's get that out of the way. Lovely tiny little unit, isn't it? I mean, if you see the size of my thumb, it's not much bigger than my thumb. I've seen some of these dash cams which are bloody enormous. There's the power supply, so obviously again you're going to have to run this wire here all the way up into here and then connect it like so. So basically what you would see on your windscreen is that you're going to have to basically hide all of this up into the headliner, down the A-pillar trim and to the cigarette lighter, and at some point you're going to have to also run this cable here, as in that one, to connect just in here like so. That is the guts of it. Let's just move all that out of the way a second. That is the guts of it there. That is what we are going to fit. Front camera, rear camera. All right, that's an overview of what you get inside the box, guys, from Pelsee. It's not going to be quite as easy as I hoped it would be, and I've got a feeling that's going to look a little bit odd sticking up there because you're going to have two wires in here, but we will try to basically keep it out of the way, as in the wires out of the way as much as we can, with the help of some of these clips here which they've kindly provided. So let's get out to the car. I will have a little look around and see exactly where I think we should fit this. I'm hoping we're going to be able to see a kind of test picture, as it were. We'll just plug this in and see what's going on, as in where we're going to put this on the windscreen, because I don't want it to be showing the left or the right hand side of the windscreen. I'd like it bang in the middle, if I'm honest, and then run the wires down, and then obviously as this pivots we can adjust that as we need to. Same with the rear one, as you saw just now, wherever that is, that actually pivots as well, so that's going to be very useful. But that's it. That's the unboxing of the Pelsee. We will take it out to the car now, and we will begin to remove some trim and work out exactly where we're going to put this. I'll put you on a tripod in the car somehow, probably on one of the action cams, and we will fit this together. I might do a little bit on time lapse, but I will explain to you exactly what we're doing. You'll be able to see it, and then we'll take it for a quick drive. We'll do some test footage and get back in the house, and I'll give you an overview, my conclusions. options, whether you should buy one, if it's good value, and we'll just basically cover everything we've already covered, but in a bit more detail once we've got the footage. All right, let's get out to the car and start this job. Okay then people, it's time to fit this Pelsee Dash Smart Cam that we've just been sent out. It is a glorious winter's day down here in Cornwall, and we're going to try to fit it to the Nissan Qashqai. I'm not sure if you've seen the videos on this car yet, but this is a salvage car we had come in a few weeks ago, which we've now fixed up and we are going to keep. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll link them in up here somewhere throughout this video. But suffice to say, I've decided to do it today, even though it's cold and chilly and horrible. It's about 2 weeks since we did the unboxing. I've been full of bloody COVID, so basically I've had to just sit around the house. I'm feeling sorry for myself, but today we are going to attempt to fit this Pelsee Smart Dash Cam. Obviously, being a winter's day, one of the first things we're going to have to do is clean this windscreen here. There is a slight issue where I'm going to put this camera, because I was hoping to put it just here somewhere, but as you can see, it's got this kind of weird, I assume that's the aerial, the DAB aerial kind of connection there, this black blob. So we're not going to be able to stick it up in there. I assume we're going to have to put it somewhere like here, but that will become pretty obvious once we're in the car. Now again, because it's a little bit cold today and a little bit damp, what I'm going to do, and I would suggest you do as well, because this camera is held on with 3M tape, I would suggest you get something like a hairdryer or a heat gun and you heat up the inside of the glass here where you're going to stick the camera mount, as it were, with the 3M tape, just to give it the best possible chance to adhere to the window, because obviously being a bit colder, being a little bit damp, if you just slap it on there, the inside of the car is going to be a little bit cold and it may not stick, which means on another day in the spring when it warms up again, it could just fall off, or it could just fall off next week, you never know. So to give yourself the best chance, I would suggest that you heat up the inside of the glass before you stick the 3M mount on there that holds the Pelsee camera, just to give yourself, as I said, a little bit better chance to get it to stay there where you want it to stay. But we're going to jump inside the car now. I'll stick you on the new DJI Osmo Action 3 on a little tripod or something, and we will attempt to fit this camera and see exactly where we can put it, and we'll do the first screen test shots, as it were, see how it comes out. We've downloaded the app obviously, and I'll show you that in a second. I might just stick a little picture up here of how that looks. We've got to add the camera, all that kind of usual numph. But anyway, enough waffle, let's get into it. So as I said, guys, we are going to attempt to fit it. I am assuming somewhere around here. As you can see, that's the rear view mirror. I think we're going to have to go in just around about here because of this aerial here for the radio. I can't really see any other way of doing it. I have actually sat in the driver's seat, and once you look into the mirror, obviously that takes up quite a lot of your field of view, as it were, so you shouldn't be able to see the camera per se. I mean, ideally, what it's going to do, there's the camera itself, that's the Pelsee. What it's going to do, that's the screen there with the screen protector on it. It'll sit just like so, up in there, and as you can see from here, you can't actually see it. But again, I'm going to heat this windscreen up because it's already sliding around. There's no way that's going to stick on there, but I'm going to hope and pray, because obviously this, here we are, this pivots, so obviously as we stick it up there we can move it around, and like so. So what I'll do next is I'll get you on the DJI Osmo Action 3. I've also discovered that running the wire here is going to be really simple, because most of this headliner here, hoping you can see that, most of this headliner here just literally falls down, so we should be able to run the wire all the way down there. There's going to be, unfortunately, a wire that comes down here, so you will see a black wire that comes down there. I think that's pretty unavoidable, if I'm honest, but we're going to basically run it, as you can see, all the way down there. We'll remove this little bit of A-pillar trim here. That shouldn't be too difficult. Run the wire down there, then it should come behind the glove box and into the 12-volt socket. So we were going to put you on the DJI Osmo, but I just realized I don't have the right bracket to put it onto the seat. So basically we're going to carry on using the phone. I've just plugged it in, as you can see there, into the cigarette lighter. One thing I didn't notice, or maybe I did in the initial video, but I can't remember now, is it's actually got an external USB socket there as well. So if you need to charge up your phone as well, that's kind of useful, I guess. But as I did predict, it does stick out a bit. Now, if that's not a problem for you, then great, just plug it in, and whenever you don't want it, just unplug it and off you trot. For me, I'm going to use a different method, which I'll talk to you about in a second. So there is the Pelsee. As you can see, it's got its power cable in like so, because obviously it'll go up here. So what I'm going to do, I think, is have it coming this way round, as in the socket this way round. So as you can see, with the plug in that way, the wire will come up there like so, and it will fit underneath here effectively. So this wire here will run up here like so. I'll just quickly do that and show you exactly what I mean. So to show you ever so quickly, it will fit just here like so. The camera will spin around like so. So as you can see, it'll all fit nicely. And then all you'll see is that wire there. It is a bit cumbersome, I have to say, but I think that is just the nature of having a dash cam in your car. You are going to see some wires, but as you can see, as it runs up over here, we've got the wire just over here. That will then in turn run all the way down here. We'll run it through the back of of the glove box and then probably bring it out in underneath here somewhere. So all you'll be able to see then is basically just that. But I'm probably going to do it a slightly different way. But again, I'll talk to you about that in a second. Anyway, I've got to clean this windscreen and basically get the hairdryer on the inside of the car because I want to give it the best chance possible to adhere to the windscreen. So bear with me while I get that done and then we'll cut back in. So just a quick one for you guys. What I've done and what I suggest you do if it's going to help you out is basically the mount there actually attaches to the camera obviously, but there's a rod that goes through there like so to attach it through that bar. I've taken that off because what I want to do is stick this part here onto the windscreen, give that an hour to actually adhere to the windscreen before I attach the big lumpy camera here, because obviously that weighs a little bit. I'm just trying to give this 3M tape as much of a chance as I can to actually stay on the windscreen. So I suggest you do this. As I said, we're going to heat the windscreen up, wipe it down with a microfiber cloth, stick this part on, leave it an hour, and then reattach the bar to there. And then obviously we'll angle everything up and then take some test footage. But just a little quick tip for you there. I think that's the way to do things. I think if you just try to hang it straight off the 3M tape, you might find that it fails. So just give yourself the best chance. If I sound a bit snotty, by the way, I'm still getting over the COVID, so bear with me. Right, let's get on with this. Okay, well, it turns out I'm an absolute idiot. Actually, you didn't need to take off this whole section over here because, as you can see, if you just slide that bit out there like so, that detaches. So you can basically just stick that to the windscreen as we've been trying to show you here, and then basically clip that back in when you're ready to go. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, so the base plate is in. As you can see, I've got it as central as I possibly could using obviously the black part of this aerial here. Sorry about the focus. Using that to judge where it should go, etc, etc. The wire is still hanging here. What I'm going to do is give that an hour, basically hope the sun comes around and kind of just heats that up a little bit. But it's not in the way of the wing mirror at all. The wire is going to be there. Obviously, you're not going to see any of this. But as I said, we'll give it an hour and I will pop back to the car. In that hour, obviously, I will run the wires up through here. I will take this A-pillar trim out of here and run the wire down in underneath here, and we'll show you what all that looks like as soon as we come back. All right, guys, so we are almost done. The wire is still in there, hasn't actually moved, and we've traced it all the way down here through the A-pillar trim. I took the side pillar off here as well. Bear in mind, we're doing this on a Qashqai, so the little side trim just here as well, that just pops in on the side there. We took that out, and I took the glove box out as well. That's just sitting down there. That is literally 6 different screws. There's like one there, a couple up in there, and then one right in the center, and then that just pulls straight out. There's the light for that, and that just came straight out, and then we ran the wire just underneath here and then basically just underneath there. I've just got to tuck that wire a little bit better in underneath here using a pry tool. That'll take literally seconds, as you can see, and then we run it around here. And lo and behold, it's right there into the 12-volt cigarette lighter. Now, that's not quite as cumbersome and horrible looking as I thought it might be. I think I could live with that. I was going to use another kind of system that I was going to show you just now, but, you know, I'll stick a picture in here of what I was going to use. But I think I'm just going to leave that as it is for now, because I don't smoke in the car, obviously. I don't need to charge anything up. And if I do, it's actually got an external one there anyway. So happy days. So that's it in. We'll have a little look at the camera in the back a second. And again, all we did was run it all the way down underneath this trim through to the back. Excuse the boot, guys, it's full of crap. And then basically ran it up through here, traced it up through this little bit of trim here, and there is the rear camera. That's going to sit in just here somewhere. I'll fit that in a moment, and then we should be able to test this out, take it for a little test drive, see what kind of quality we have. I want to stick the Pelsee in first and then just show you the app and just show you exactly what you can see through the app. But pretty much the hard work is done. All I've got to do is stick this glove box back in the car, tidy it all up again, and then connect the camera up, and we'll see how it works. That's how simple it was. I would say it took about 15 minutes at best, and that includes putting it all back together. Anyway, talking of which, let's get it back together. All right, guys, we are in. The rear camera is in. As you can see, it's just sitting right there. I haven't tested it out per se just yet. I haven't angled it up. We are going to do that, and then we're basically going to take this camera system out for its maiden voyage, as it were, see what it's all about. As you can see, the camera is sitting nicely in there. I'm not quite sure what it looks like from the front, because I haven't even checked yet, if I'm honest, but yeah, I think you'll agree that looks pretty stealthy. So let's jump in and see what the footage is like, see what it captures, rear and front cameras. So as you can see, guys, we're in the car now, and the Pelsee smart Wi-Fi dash cam is seemingly working really well. It's such a nice change to have 4K recording advertised on a device, and it actually has 4K recording, because I bought so many of these dash cams that say they're 4K and they don't even end up being 360 or 720p. You know, it's just absolutely garbage. I remember I bought a couple of rear view mirrors with 4K integrated cameras back and front, and they were absolute garbage. Admittedly, they were 15-20 quid each, and I put one of them into the VW T5 Transporter project that we did, and it worked great. It's a really good, big, massive rear view mirror, but the quality of the video was so bad I couldn't even bloody use it, so that went in the bin. I think I've still got one actually somewhere in the house in one of my cupboards. But the Pelsee, you get what you pay for. It's as simple as that, guys. You know, it took what, 15 minutes to fit it. You can barely notice it's there. I mean, I'm looking up here now and all I can see is 2 inches of wire. That's it, that's all you can see. The one in the rear of the car is a little bit annoying, I have to say, simply because you can see it constantly all the time. It's got this big arrow there which gets a little bit distracting, and I'm not sure about the footage because I looked on the app and I couldn't work out a way of checking the angle of the camera on the rear camera. You can only seemingly check the front camera, which is a bit odd. You can't make sure once you've fitted the rear camera that it's aligned where you need it to be, and I can't work that out. If I have worked it out, I'll stick it in here somewhere. I'll just, you know, explain exactly what I meant. But from what I can see, looking through the instructions, you can only actually use the app to see the front camera. You can't use it to see the rear camera. And as you can see, it is 4K. I'm hoping we're going to be able to show you some rear footage as well, but I'm not sure because, as I said, I don't even know if the rear one's working because I couldn't access it on the app. But I'm assuming by now you'll have seen the front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera, if that's working. If it's not, then again, I'll chime in at the end of the video and explain how I fixed that. But I imagine it's working. I can't tell because I'm driving, obviously. But that has been the Pelsee Duo Smart Wi-Fi Dashcam. I think it's a really nice bit of kit, guys. It's very, very stealthy. It's simplicity itself to fit. It's literally plug and play. If you know how to lift up a little bit of car trim and tuck a wire away, and you know how to download an app onto your mobile phone, that's all you need to know. You saw how I fitted it. You've seen how it fits into the cigarette lighter. You've seen the quality, obviously, by now. I think it's a good buy. It's not the cheapest on the market, but do yourselves a favor. Don't do what I do. Buy one once. That would be my advice. Just buy one dash cam once. That's all you'll need. You know, if you've got no plans of selling your car, just buy the best dash cam you can buy and buy it once. Don't buy these cheap Chinese ones that say they're 4K and they're not. Just buy something like the Pelsee Duo Smart Wi-Fi Dashcam. Link is in the description, of course. I'm going to go home now and sit and feel sorry for myself because I'm still getting over COVID. But if you have enjoyed this kind of stuff, then please consider subscribing. Give the video a like, a share, a thumbs up, all that kind of good stuff. It means the world to me. It takes you a millisecond to press that subscribe button. We try to get a video out every 2 weeks now. I think I've explained why. And we'll be back, as I say, in a couple of weeks' time. If you've got any questions, drop it in the comments section. But from Budget Cars and Bikes, this has been a review of the Pelsee Duo Smart Wi-Fi Dashcam. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Take care. We'll catch up soon.